do in the next 7 days matters more than the last 7 weeks. I know a lot of gardeners are feeling quite behind, but there's no reason to feel behind because everything kind of catches up. I know a lot of people who are like, oh, I haven't done nearly enough sowing. And I know a lot of people who think, oh, my garden's looking really empty. And I know a lot of people who are like, have I lost the season? But that's not me, because I know that now is the time. Everything, the days are getting longer, it's getting warmer, and now is the time to really start thinking about what to do in the garden. And in this video, I want to hopefully calm some nerves a bit and say that there is so much still to do. Don't feel like you're out of control, and it's going to be a great season. Now, the first thing is, if you're talking about sowing seeds, there's only a couple of things that you're a little bit too late to the party, but it doesn't matter because you can go to a garden centre or a plant fair and get a few plants, and that's fine. And those really are your tomatoes and your chilies, and potentially things like celeriac, but really you could sow some now. So apart from those, even broad beans you can sow now. Apart from the aubergines, chilies, tomatoes, everything else you can sow now. In fact, now is a great time. I started a bit early, but now is a great time to start sowing things like your runner beans and your peas, and you've got all sorts of other things, like think about the squash, the courgettes, the pumpkins. Yes, they're tender. Now is a great time to do it, because the other part of it as to why you should never rush the growing season is because we have this thing called frosts, and our last average frost date is around early to mid-May, which is exactly when I'm filming this video. So I'm being a little bit risky putting out these beans, but I have looked at the long-term forecast, and so far we look like it's going to be clear, so I'm taking that risk, and that's part of the joy of gardening. So the issue is that I wouldn't have planted these out last week. So in the next couple of weeks, this whole space is going to transform and start to really fill with plants. And I think it's that thing of like spring starts back in March, and it's really easy to feel quite deflated looking around the place and think, oh yeah, but I haven't really got much growing. So just remember that that's perfectly natural. There's so many full springs that we have been through here this year already, and we've had storms and we've had all sorts, that it's just as well. Actually, I've been a bit like, you know what, I'll do it in May, and it's May and I'm doing it now, and it's all part of the plan. So look, at the end of the day, you're actually probably ahead of me, and you're being a little bit too harsh on yourself. Okay, I don't want to see that. I want to see you having fun out in the garden. I purposefully have been really, chill and lazy about starting this growing season, just so you can feel better about yourself. Now, the great thing to remember is that gardening, it's not a race. It's not like, oh, quick, hurry up. It's more of a case of working in windows rather than deadlines, because every single growing season is different anyway in terms of when the last frost date is, what kind of summer we're going to have, how much rain are we going to have. So it's just remembering that we actually have quite large windows in which to do things. So like the window of sowing, say beetroot, can be from, at least for where I am in the Northern Hemisphere, from March until end of June, if I want decent crops in the growing season. So that's the window. It's not thinking I can only do it in April. And every single crop has some sort of a window. And a lot of the crops that have the longest windows are your things like your leafy greens and root veg, brassicas, these kind of things. And these are all things that have plenty of time still ahead of the growing season for sowing. Now, there is definitely an advantage of starting later in the growing season, namely that you do have the warmer soils and you have the kind of elongated daylight hours, if that's the right way of describing it. Probably, it'll do. And what you benefit as a gardener from that is that the difference of sowing a seed in March to harvest, the number of weeks for that process is going to be much longer than sowing that same seed now in May to then the first harvest. Things seem to catch up. And so you can actually ride that wave and understand that for a lot of the plants that you grow, there's actually no major rush to get everything sown anyway, which is why I tell everyone, and I'm going to say it again now just as a reminder, that my busiest seed sowing month in terms of growing vegetables is this month. It is May. So I've kind of known that in the back of my mind, and yes, I have some things coming on, and I've got some like peas and beetroot out and other things coming like some cucumbers and courgettes and obviously the tomatoes, but everything else, this is kind of the month for it. And the other thing, just really nice thing that I heard when I was speaking to Liz Orab, is that she says, if you don't rush things, you then need fewer like grow lights or heat mats, which energy is very expensive. So it's actually saves you costs by starting things later, plus they end up growing faster anyway, which is pretty cool. So here I'm just doing a little bit of a nice, hopefully ornamental planting. I've got white muskmallow and muskmallows, and these are great as kind of just nice salad leaves. When the leaves are bigger, you can even use them to like have stuffings and wrap around the mallow leaves. And I'm just separating them just to make sure I plant it out nicely. And because these are going to have a little bit of height, I'm going to have these further back to create a bit of like a tiered backdrop. So when you have a back of a border, that's where you have the tallest things, and then closer towards you, away from the boundary, that's where you have the shortest things. Like there, we've got the sedum that is spilling over the edge. And so I'm kind of resetting this to fill it with colour. And I think that the white and the pink is going to look amazing. And what's so lovely about so many of the plants that you grow, in almost all cases, it is better to start things a bit late than a bit early. And because May is the season where most things can be started, in the next couple of weeks, you could easily get 80% of what you need doing and feel like you're kind of back on track. But the most important thing that I'd say to you is there is nothing wrong at all with simplifying what you're doing this year, because it's better to have a planted bed of one thing rather than a half planted bed of like a few different things. So it might be a case that this year it'd just be easier to just grow a whole bed of beetroot rather than some, and just think about creative ways of preserving all that beetroot later in the season. So the thing I'd always kind of tell people is that, especially in May, it's kind of thinking about what are your future harvests going to be, not about what could you be eating now if you had started back in March and built a hotbed and all of these kind of things, but think about what can you be enjoying over the summer months and the autumn months. And really the thing about gardening is that the benefits compound. So all of these little things that you're doing, they're all going to add up and compound and help and create a bit of momentum. And I think maybe the big problem of waiting until May or feeling like, okay, this is the time to kind of get serious, is that you don't really have that momentum behind you that you've built up over March and April in the garden. But if you have a nice weekend, even a Saturday in the garden, doing a load of sowing, a load of jobs, putting some things out, direct sowing, totally underrated, then you'll start to feel that momentum and you can kind of carry on riding that wave. So just know, if you're feeling behind, yes, you might think that because of Instagram, but the real gardeners know that you're actually not behind. You're just on time. So get out there, do a bit of gardening, enjoy it. And when you get back and it's a bit dark, you can watch this video that apparently YouTube thinks you're going to like to watch. And I'll see you again soon.